this video, I will be discussing the educational technology blogs. We will go through 3 of them in this presentation and take a minute on each one to give a brief analysis and critique. To find this video, you can go back to my blog and click there, as well as all the references for the blogs found in this video will be posted there as well. Without further ado, let's talk about the blogs themselves. So we will go over 3 different blogs: the Educational Technology and Mobile Learning, which is a resource of educational web tools and mobile apps for teachers and educators. We will go then to the Emerging EdTech, and then finish with the Teaching is My Calling blog. They all have similarities, but they also all have a little bit of differences. While they are all educational technology blogs, some of them have more of a personal touch and others are geared more towards a professional or higher level technology learning. The Educational Technology and Mobile Learning blog is very versatile, has many categories, and is very practical as far as an aid goes. The Emerging EdTech also has an index of categories. However, it does have a business side to it, which, depending on what an educator is looking for, could be a drawback. Then the Teaching My Calling is very personal and has more of an elementary-based focus, where the other 2 have a lot of resources from multiple grades. And some of the posts are not as recent. Now, let's dig into these a little further. So the Educational Technology and Mobile Learning, we click on it, it brings us here. And so this is your landing page for this site. Now you can already see there's categories, distance learning, iPad apps, Google Drive, EdTech, books for teachers, Android apps, and many other things. Specifically, when you click on the categories was what drew my attention, because as I scroll, you can see that there are many, many resources between audio, even going into some taxonomy from Bloom. And then what I found was that there was many digital learning resources, and even scrolling back to just down to all the Google resources and the iPad apps as well. A teacher could easily think of a category that they want to look for. Say they wanted storytelling apps, and they'd be able to click right here. So it's very diverse, has lots of resources up here at the top for educators, and a very good, I need something quick, let me go and research this here. Going back to our presentation, let's go over to the Emerging EdTech. While I said this has a lot of resources as well, and you are able to search by category, and even has many posts recently about the creating a successful learn from home space, even teaching critical thinking with educational technology. Up at the top, it does have this Kelly's University business articles, where if I were to accidentally click on this as an educator, it would completely sidetrack some of my educational blog experience, which could be a drawback depending on what a teacher may be looking for. If you go to posts by category, this is where a teacher would also be able to find great teaching tech videos, or even down to other blogs and blogging type ways that they could enhance their blogs, collaboration, brainstorming, multiple resources. And then last but not least, when we're going to our third on this line in the presentation, we have the Teaching My Calling, which is not as much the professional, but it is probably one of my favorites, as it is very personable, and as you can see already, it has the biblical worldview perspective in most, if not all, of the blog posts. And so you get a little bit about the author right off the bat. And you can also see, as I scroll down on the left-hand side, you will begin to see all of the blog archives. So it's all the way back to 2011, and a lot of them have to do with, teaching in room 6 and Halloween and 4th grade frolics and some elementary geared versus some of the very much adaptive and older age things we were seeing earlier. Kara gives very much a personal flair to a lot of her posts. Now, they are not as early, or I'm sorry, as recent as some of the other blogs. However, still very, very efficient as a resource, especially for new teachers that might need that veteran teacher feel, especially when you come over to middle school survival guide or teaching first and so on. Also, as we saw, it talks to some of the things we've discussed in earlier parts of this course with the ISTE and some of our guideline standards. Scrolling back up, you will also see at the top where she has different awards and disclosures, and you can even view her complete profile here. So, in summary, we have talked about 3 different blogs, 2 of which were more on the professional side, 1 of which was more on the personal. All of them had many different categories to offer, more adaptive learning all the way to elementary-based practical learning, and even had different hands-on practical learning resources for both teachers and in this COVID environment. All the sources are listed here, and they will also be listed in the blog. Thank you for watching this video on analysis and critiques of 3 educational blogs.